Greetings, parade watchers, and welcome to a new history video. As of today, we are concluding our very first season with the King of the Muppets, which is none other than Kermit the Frog, from his appearances as a giant balloon in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Kermit the Frog made his parade debut in 1977 with Henson Associates and Jim Henson Productions as his sponsors. The design is just a generic design as always, but on its test flight, the real Kermit appeared as a news reporter to talk about his balloon flying for the very first time. As of November 2023, some of Kermit's televised appearances are considered pieces of lost media on NBC, which are 1977, which is his debut year, 1978, and 1979, where he promoted the Muppet movie, which that year also became a history. When Kermit the Frog became the only Macy's parade balloon to be allowed outside of the U.S., he was at England with the Queen of England to celebrate the International Year of the Child. The only broadcasts that we have in terms of YouTube are 1980, 1981, 1982, and 1983.
By the way, you saw Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street live out for a ride. You saw them earlier on the Today Show. Now, there are all kinds of different celebrities who appear on television films, but only a handful of what could be called superstars. And interesting enough, almost none of them are green. Maybe that's because they're not frogs. So when you got a frog that's a superstar, you got something really special. And we got them for you right now, all 6 stories of them. Welcome, Kermit, the most famous frog ever to leap in the limelight. Maybe because it was such a good color for him. Well, 1980 marks his 24th year in show business, making him the oldest Muppet character still on active duty. Hardly looks out of his teens this morning. Happy Thanksgiving, Kermit. What a marvelous balloon, furnished by Henson Associates. The conversation turns to frogs, as I'm sure it does at your house nearly every day, like it does at mine. It's really no surprise that there have only been a few famous frogs to talk about. But then, 25 years ago, a single frog jumped out of obscurity, and the world has never been the same since. And here he is, Kermit, the one and only, furnished by Henson Associates. Kermit always seemed to get a particular kick out of Thanksgiving and being able to greet all the people, and especially all the frogs along the way. He's particularly thankful that frog's legs has never become a favorite American dish. If you ever saw the film The Great Muppet Caper, you immediately know the passengers: battered yellow Minnie, Boscab, Beauregard, the passenger Kermit, Gonzo, and Fuzzy. Okay, there's Kermit, and joining me now is Donnie Osmond. Donnie, you look beautiful up there. How you doing?
Hey, I'm cold. I'm doing fine, though.
Speaking of Jim Henson, I ask you now, where would the most famous frog in the world be on Thanksgiving if not in this parade? Let me give you some statistics on a gentleman who really needs no introduction. He is, of course, Kermit the Frog. He was the first balloon ever allowed outside of the United States. Did you know that? He helped celebrate the Year of the Child in England, and he's a big one. This is his 6th year in the parade. He is 6 stories tall, 24 feet wide. How many feet of helium does it take to fill him? 5,220 cubic feet. And floating high above Broadway on this day, we're proud to have Kermit, the most famous frog, going. Kermit furnished this morning by Henson Associates. Good seeing you, big green guy. We'll come back. Lots more to come on this holiday, and we're glad you could be with us.
Paul Williams sings To a Giant Olive Oil. Andy Gibb performs with the cast from Broadway's Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. So, don't miss a minute.
Starts that fine man. It's Acadiana, not Academia, or whichever I said. I don't know. I think this is easy. Anyway, when you start to count them up, there really aren't that many animals who are international celebrities. But we do have a few in this parade, and my my son assures me that this next one is one. Certainly, Kermit the Frog is among that select group. Now, in olden days, a lovely young lady was always hoping a frog would change perhaps into some handsome young prince. Well, I don't know anyone who would trade our Kermit for some dumb prince who kept combing his hair all the time. Just look at the expressions and the faces in the crowd today, and it becomes obvious to you that Kermit is irreplaceable. He is furnished this morning, as always, and very welcome by Henson Associates.
The excitement of the marching bands, laugh with the shirt tails, and welcome Sha-Na-Na's Bowser, John Bauman, to Herald Square.
In 1984, Kermit the Frog promoted The Muppets Takes Manhattan. In 1985, Kermit the Frog had a massive tear in his stomach and managed to go through the entire parade route. And in 1986, nothing really big happened for him.
Bob McGrath, Sonia Manzano, Loretta Long, Elena Reed, and of course, Big Bird. Our next balloon this morning is furnished by Henson Associates, and I don't think anyone who is watching does not know Kermit the Frog, the popular host of TV's Muppet Show. So 6 stories tall this morning.
For the big balloons and the handlers and getting them down the streets, you know, when you have the rain and the wind and all that. And amazingly, most of them have done very well. Kermit, however, not quite as fortunate. Kermit riding a little low to the ground today, but that's all right. It's good to see him anyway, and the crowd loves him no matter what his elevation is. It's furnished by Henson Associates, a legendary frog. You know, they really have had some problems with the weather in past years. Going way back to 1956, just about all the balloons had to bite the dust. I believe only Mighty Mouse that year was able to make it. And even he was slightly wounded by winds of up to 45 miles per hour. Kermit, we love you anyway. Looks as if he's passed out, actually. You know, I hate to spread rumors here, but there's one going around that some of the other balloons in our parade are a little jealous of our friend Kermit here. See, the reason is he's the only balloon ever to make an appearance outside the United States. He made a special flight over London's Hyde Park to salute Queen Elizabeth and thousands of children who were there to celebrate the International Year of the Child. Furnished by Henson Associates, Kermit today marks his 10th anniversary in this parade. Happy anniversary, Kermit. At 6 stories high, he's being walked, or I guess flown, by no less than 25 green balloon handlers, who, as a matter of fact, look a little like him, as you saw there. He is always a crowd favorite, and he looks better than ever this year. Ribbit.
It's a Thanksgiving feast of entertainment, the Chipmunk Adventure, and Amy Grant, all ahead.
1987 was a pretty big year for Kermit the Frog and Jim Henson, as they received an award called the Rollie Award, which is basically Lifetime Achievement Awards for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
You know, Kermit the Frog finally got away from Miss Piggy just long enough to leap down our parade route. Actually, this green fellow, furnished by Jim Henson Productions, some young upstart production company I've never heard of. I'd learn how to pronounce it. They're now making the 11th Thanksgiving appearance, probably giving thanks for being a frog this year, not a turkey. Anyway, this is all home week. Jimmy, what a thrill.
Oh, it's very nice to be back with you again. After 30 years ago, when did we start together?
One of the great moments of my career, when I believe the first time Kermit and I ever appeared together was on Barn Party on Channel 4 many years ago.
That's right. That's right.
I understand. Kermit, you look younger every day. Jimmy, you... Anyway, we Ed Finkelstein, chairman of Macy's, has a special award for Kermit and his years of service to this parade and the country.
Well, thanks, Willard. And just as Hollywood has the Oscar, we have the Rollie Award. And Jim, I'm proud to present this one to you and Kermit, and thank you for 11 years of great parades with us.
All right, can I thank you? Yes, thank you. Listen, to be immortalized in a large balloon about 75 feet tall and filled with gas is one of the great thrills of my life. And I wish everybody out there could have this same exciting thrill, and it'd be a wonderful parade if they did. And Willard would make a great balloon too, right?
I'm ready, Jimmy, and thank you, Ed. That's our Rollie Award, and thank you so much. It's the best in the business. While we don't have your balloon ready for you, we're all set for a bigger than life, hopefully someday.
We don't have your balloon ready, and you're already bigger than life, and your enthusiasm for the parade. For 7 years, you've done a great job, rain or shine, in reporting to millions watching at home, and which why we have this surprise Rollie Award for you too.
Thank you. That's terrific. Thank you so much. We really appreciate the institution. And being with you guys really makes me proud. And Kermit, let's do lunch.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay. Thank you. I think they shut us up. That's great. Thanks.
Really,
what a treat.
I'll watch you in the morning.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Will.
Good.
After 1987, Kermit the Frog was retired. But then, on May 16th, 1990, Jim Henson, the man who invented the Muppets, passed away from a bad case of bacteria pneumonia. In honor of his passing, the Jim Henson Productions brought Kermit back to the 1990 Macy's parade that year with a special tribute during the NBC broadcast, with Willard Scott giving us an emotional moment, and I can consider this one of the greatest moments in the parade's history.
I can't get no consolation.
Hey, thank you so much, Patty. Being escorted down the line and into the sunset in true Western style by 15 riders from the American Quarter Horse Association. And look who's here. Here she is, that shameless pig. I mean, batting those eyelashes at the frog of her choice. Furnished by Jim Henson Productions, it's Miss Piggy and the beloved Kermit, that frog that we all love, riding on our rolls. And watching the parade with us today are members of the Henson family. Beautiful Jane, we love you so much. What a dear, dear friend. And today's Macy's parade pays tribute to Jim Henson, whose magical creations have been a very special part of this parade now for 15 years, especially in the form of that beautiful, beautiful voice and that beautiful style of that magnificent frog.
No, I don't think that success has particularly spoiled the frog.
Oh, Kermit!
Oh, yes, Miss Piggy.
Oh, I am so excited that you have been elevated to balloondom.
Oh, thank you. That's very aptly put.
Kermit, 6 stories tall and filled with 5,220 cubic feet of helium, has flown high, he's flown low. You know, it isn't always easy being green. He's flown in with his friends from Sesame Street. Big Bird, Bert and Ernie, Oscar the Grouch, characters who've become the heritage of a generation. He's appeared in parades with Doozers and Hoosers, other wonderful Henson creations from Fraggle Rock. Kermit was the first Macy's balloon ever allowed outside the United States. In 1979, he journeyed to England to help celebrate the International Year of the Child. A first for a frog, I'm sure. In 1988, Jim Henson and Kermit were recipients of the Rollie Award for their years of service to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And Kermit made a very eloquent acceptance speech.
Can I thank you? Yes, thank you. Listen, it's to be immortalized in a large balloon about 75 feet tall and filled with gas is one of the great thrills of my life. And I wish everybody out there could have this same exciting thrill, and it'd be a wonderful parade if they did.
Kermit takes a sentimental journey down Broadway today.
In 1991, Kermit's head got poked by maybe a lamppost or a tree branch and managed to go through the entire parade route with a deflated head. And it even inspired Alex DeCorna to recreate the Kermit balloon accident at that time.
Well, that's my old friend here. This fella and I go way back, and he'll always be my favorite frog in the whole world. Furnished by Jim Henson Productions, my friend Kermit the Frog was the creation and the alter ego of that wonderful man, the late Jim Henson. You know, Kermit first flew in the parade 15 years ago, but it isn't always easy being green. One rainy Thanksgiving day, he was so low to the ground, it looked like that he was almost swimming down Broadway. But being a frog character, he made it all the way, because frogs are that kind of folks. And today, Kermit is just a little bit sad.
He's flying a little bit low, Willard, but he is flying.
After 1991, the original Kermit balloon was officially retired, making 13 appearances. 1 year later, in 1992, Kermit the Frog, Snuggle the Bear, Betty Boop, and Santa Goofy appeared at Macy's New York Christmas at Disney's MGM Studios at Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. In 2002, with the promotion of a Very Merry Muppet Christmas movie airing on NBC, Macy's brought back Kermit the Frog to celebrate the 20th anniversary of The Muppet Show. This time, he's got an all-new balloon. His design is the same thing as the original balloon, but it's just a reboot. But not only Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy were interviewed by Al Roker to talk about the film, he was also named Macy's Holiday Ambassador of 2002.
Okay, fellas, this joint is jumping. Feast your eyes on Macy's 2002 Holiday Ambassador. After a 13-year leap of absence, it's none other than Kermit, known as Kermie to his friends, returning as a brand new balloon in celebration of the 25th anniversary of The Muppet Show. That frog with a perpetual smile is furnished by the Jim Henson Company.
And he's big stuff, Katie. At 78 feet long, they'd have to call out 3 stretch limos to take Balloon Kermit on the ultimate star trip. And he's got one coming. This 25th anniversary year alone, the green one had his star placed on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, released the video movie Kermit's Swamp Years, and is about to join Miss Piggy and the gang in a Very Merry Muppet Christmas movie airing tomorrow night on NBC.
And about being a balloon, Kermit says your head is in the clouds and you're filled with hot air. It's like being on the Today Show.
I knew you were going to play with that line.
So obvious.
Okay, it is official.
Kermit would continue from 2003 all the way to 2004.
A little Chicago and NYC. Meanwhile, leaping down Broadway, star of stage, screen, and swamps, Kermit the Frog, furnished by the Jim Henson Company. This was a busy year for Kermit. In fact, a certain diva wanted him to run for governor of California so she could become First Piggy. Don't say it.
And coming up, Kermit and the whole Muppet gang in It's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas movie, airing Saturday, December 6th, right here on NBC and on a special edition DVD.
Balloon Kermit is big. If he stretched out and napped, he'd completely block traffic across every lane of the Brooklyn Bridge. Then again, stopping traffic is nothing new to this superstar.
To pay for their... All right, here's a big balloon that could make Miss Piggy green with envy. Kermit the Frog, hip hops down Broadway, furnished by the Muppets. Balloon Kermit's big. Let loose, he could leap the length of 2.5 football fields.
As you guys know, 2005 will be a big year for Kermit. He'll turn the big 5-0, just like you, Matt, starring the TV movie Muppets Wizard of Oz with Miss Piggy and the gang. And they'll all be featured on official U.S. stamps.
Where's the holiday spirit?
Hey, I've done it. It's not so bad. We love what Kermit says about being a big balloon. You're bigger than life, your head's in the clouds, and you're filled with hot air. It's exactly like being a Hollywood star, and he ought to know.
All right, Katie and Al, the word on the...
After 2004, the second Kermit balloon was retired. But then, Kermit came back in 2007, and he would continue all the way to 2009.
The Muppet Studio presents the world's most famous amphibian. Flying 50 feet above the crowd is our great friend, the international star of TV and movies, Kermit the Frog.
And Kermit sports his trademark 11-point collar, and he looks stylish as always in green. And as you know, Kermit has been green since before it became fashionable. In fact, he has been green since 1955 when he got his start on local TV.
Now, a real frog would have to gain 300 pounds to match Kermit's balloon weight. And he'd have to jump 100 times its range to leapfrog this giant green inflatable.
NBC's telecast of the 81st Annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade is sponsored in part by the Nikon D40. Take amazing digital pictures with the easy-to-use Nikon D40. And by Cotton. It's natural. When we return, Santa Claus arrives at Herald Square. Stay with us live on NBC.
It isn't easy being seen by 50 million people, but this Dean of Green is used to it. He's the most famous amphibian hopping, and at the moment he's soaring above our world from 50 feet high. The Muppet Studio brings us their most famous creation of all. This is Kermit the Frog.
And on December 17th, Kermit, Miss Piggy, and all the Muppets will be leaping onto your TV screens in A Muppet's Christmas, Letters to Santa, featuring guest stars Uma Thurman, Whoopi Goldberg, and Nathan Lane. This all-new holiday special is a gift from Kermit and company to you. And, of course, you can catch it right here on NBC.
Now from Virginia. When you are short, green, and handsome, it is not that easy being seen. But when you're a 515-pound balloon, it is impossible to miss the world's most famous amphibian. The Muppet Studios presents the King of Green himself, the one and only Kermit the Frog.
You know, Meredith, since starting his career in 1955, Kermit has leaped to fame all around the world, hopping into the hearts of young and old alike. You can catch Kermit and the rest of the Muppets in a star-studded holiday special. It airs on NBC this December 4th and 19th at 8 p.m. It's called A Muppet's Christmas, Letters to Santa.
In 2010 and 2011, Kermit promoted his brand new Disney movie, The Muppets, set to be released in December of 2011, but was delayed a bit earlier to November of 2011 on Thanksgiving, with Kermit's final appearance in the 2012 parade.
He's leaped 50 feet into today's sky. He's the most famous amphibian on the planet. Here's our dear friend and Muppet star Kermit the Frog, smiling and waving to frog fans far below. Kermit's excited to announce that he'll be joined next year on the Hollywood Walk of Fame by the rest of his Muppets family, who will be honored with a star of their own.
And as if that isn't enough, Kermit and the gang will reunite in a new Disney movie written by and starring the funny and multi-talented Jason Segel, as well as Academy Award-nominated actress Amy Adams. Look for the Muppet Fun in theaters on Christmas Day next year.
About 20 miles out.
Look, up in the sky. It's not a bear, not even a pig. It's a frog, the frog, Kermit the Frog. Yes, the world's favorite amphibian, a holiday tradition in this parade.
And just yesterday, Kermit's new Disney movie, The Muppets, hit theaters. Kermit's Laugh Out Loud comedy also stars Jason Segel, Amy Adams, Chris Cooper, Miss Piggy, Fozzie Bear, Gonzo, Animal, and the whole Muppet gang.
But today, the spotlight is on Kermit, a.k.a. Kirby. Just don't tell Miss Piggy. Okay, now's the time to call the kiddies into the room because good old St. Nick and his reindeer are about to land, guys, on 34th Street.
I bet the Swedish chef is busy today.
Heralding Santa.
Waving to his fans from Disney's The Muppets is the world's most famous amphibian, Kermit the Frog. Kermit flew in his very first Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade back in 1977. And this year he has something extra to be thankful for. He has been named Family Ambassador to New York City.
Now, last Thanksgiving, Kermit starred in the hit movie The Muppets, and this year Kermit and the rest of the Muppets are back with music superstar CeeLo to bring cheer to families everywhere with their brand new holiday single, All You Need Is Love. And all we have is love for that high-flying frog.
You better believe.
After 2012, the second Kermit balloon was retired, making a total of appearances of 9. But if you combine with the previous version, which is his first design, Kermit would make 22 appearances in the parade's history. Before I wrap this episode up, I just want to say thank you for checking out all of these 11 episodes on my version of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade Balloon Histories. The show might come back soon, but it's decided to me if I want to do this again or not. But now, I want to wish my fellow Americans and everyone around the world a very happy Thanksgiving. But as tomorrow, we will yell those 3 famous words with a countdown from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's have a parade!